Hi, I'm Sally, here to talk about pros and cons of using a backpack versus a hip pack for mountain biking. A backpack with a bladder is useful if you like to drink while you ride. I personally find that a little bit challenging, and I would rather just stop and take a good drink once I've caught my breath. It's heavy and it will make you very hot and sweaty on your back. A backpack is good if I am riding for, say, 5 hours or more, and I'm anticipating really variable weather conditions, or I'm riding on a long trail with no exit points. And so I really want to have everything with me so that I'm self-sufficient. So this is a 2-liter hip pack. This is what I use when I just want to bring a few things with me. First aid kit if I'm hosting a ride with my club, or maybe a sandwich, or an extra drink if it's a really hot day, because I can fit a can of pop in here, and I can have that in addition to my water bottle on my bike. So these are great because they really expand your capacity for carrying things. But just like a backpack, these will sort of bump around on your back if you're on really rough terrain, if you're doing any jumps or drops. Even if you get it done up really tightly and has a really good design on it, it's still not going to be perfect. Both of the small hip packs I have sometimes come sort of displaced, and then they are bouncing around on my back and I have to stop, sort of shimmy them down onto my hips again. It is a little bit annoying. As the years have gone by, I've realized it is so much nicer to ride without a hip pack, without a backpack, just putting things in my pockets, than it is to ride with either of these devices. So I really encourage you to ask yourself if you really need the things that you are bringing along with you. So what do I do when I want to shed a layer? Well, I either don't wear that layer in the first place, or I wear it around my waist, or I just bear the discomfort for a few minutes, maybe stop, take a breather, cool down a little bit. I would much rather do that than bring a backpack or a hip pack just for the purposes of storing a jacket. So between these two things, I would always go with a hip pack if at all possible. And there's 2 reasons. One is that this makes me so hot and sweaty on my back. And the second reason is that this keeps my center of gravity lower. So why is that important? When you're mountain biking, you can think of yourself as a bus that is cruising through some really rough terrain at high speeds. Would you rather be driving a regular bus that just has 1 layer, or a double-decker bus? Which of those is going to be more tippy? This is the double-decker bus because it's adding weight to a higher part of your body, which raises your center of gravity and it's going to make you more tippy and unstable. This will keep the center of gravity lower and make you more stable, more confident tackling tough terrain. But even better is to wear neither of those and to keep your water on the frame of your bike in a water bottle cage. If you have shorts or a jacket with big pockets in them, just put your things in there and leave everything else behind. Unless you're headed way out into the backcountry, there's a good chance that you're really not going to need any of those things, or if you really do, you can walk your bike out and get them from your car. While I mostly try to avoid wearing a hip pack altogether, especially on rides that are under 3 hours, I just don't find it's necessary, there are still times I sometimes use them. So for longer rides where I know I want a lot of snacks, or on a really hot day when I want to have that extra fluid, I do bring it. And when I'm riding somewhere where I want my bear spray with me, I do bring it with me. Unless you have a belt on your bike shorts, the best way to carry your bear spray is to slide it onto the strap of a hip pack. There are devices to put bear spray on your bike, but they say that it's better to keep it on your person so that if you drop your bike and step away from it, you'll still be able to access it. If you want to avoid riding with a backpack or a hip pack, then I suggest buying some shorts or maybe a jersey that has a lot of good pockets in it. Big enough for your phone, for a couple of granola bars, and maybe a small multi-tool. You probably do need a hip pack for those longer rides or really hot days. But generally speaking, see if you can avoid wearing it altogether as much as possible, because you'll be able to ride that much more confidently without having to worry about something flopping around on your back. So that's been my experience. Always prioritize your own safety. Hope to see you out there.